We're here outside the J Theater today to meet with members of the theater community who are going to be going over their upcoming performances with us. Let's go inside and speak with Mr. Colby. What activities is theater involved with outside of performances?
Sure. So Stage Crew definitely gets involved with helping to sort of maintain our theater spaces, right? Helping with other school events in some cases, even outside events that might be using our facilities at times. So helping to prepare, execute, and then break down from those kinds of events. So there's definitely a wide variety of things there. Also getting involved with helping with concerts and some of the other arts events that happen on campus. As far as if you're a performer, we're actually doing a really cool new project this year, not performance-based specifically, but we're calling it Music Theater Boot Camp, and it's a chance for performers from St. John's or girls from the surrounding communities to come together on a Saturday evening, learn some choreography, learn some music, enjoy some food, and watch a movie together, usually a filmed Broadway show or something like that. So that's a cool new opportunity that's working, that's available to people this year and is working out pretty well. But always trying to sort of come up with special events like that, random play readings, right? Get a group of people together. We might not be performing something, but an opportunity to read something, give some input on what a student might find interesting and might want to perform in the following season.
What events do you all have planned for this upcoming winter season?
Sure, so we're very excited coming into our tree lighting this year on December 5th. It's going to be a really jam-packed day for all kinds of different events happening on campus. We're starting off at 3 o'clock with an instrumental concert here in J Theater, and then we'll move outside at 4 o'clock for the toy drive kickoff. 4:15, the 8th grade chime group, the classes are going to play on the green, play some Christmas music on the green. 4:30, the tree lighting itself. And then 5 o'clock, come on back in for the chorus concert and a Charlie Brown Christmas, which is what we're working on today. Essentially a staged version or adaptation of the original Charlie Brown cartoon, Charlie Brown Christmas cartoon.
How and where could someone learn more or possibly join?
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways to get involved with theater here at St. John's. If you're interested in being on stage, we typically announce auditions for productions. We've already had sort of 2 rounds or 1.5 rounds of productions so far this year. We did a series of 1 acts in the middle of October, and now we're coming up on this performance of a Charlie Brown Christmas. As soon as Charlie Brown Christmas ends, we'll be holding auditions for a February comedy play, which will be happening here, and then we'll have other things in the spring as well as part of the Spring Arts Festival. So best thing to do is pay attention to the morning announcements, 378 Main, the SJ Network, right? All of our sort of typical school news mediums to hear about and learn about what's coming up next, and then coming in for auditions. Stage Crew operates a little bit differently, right? If somebody's interested in getting involved with helping out backstage during a performance, or maybe even just building scenery, leading up to a performance, we do all of that work here with our students on campus. So Stage Crew has sort of 2 different things. You can drop in when we have a construction day. So usually we have 2 or 3 construction days over the course of the week. We'll typically announce those on the announcements in the morning, as well as there's an app that you can sign up for to get a weekly notification of what the days are that day, and that's a drop in and out at your own convenience kind of situation. There's a couple of different opportunities, right? We build all of our own scenery and do all of our own lighting here on the campus. So we have a Stage Crew that meets usually 2 or 3 times a week. That's often announced on the morning announcements. There's also an app that you can sign up for to get weekly notification of what days that's meeting in any given week. But that's the kind of thing that when you have time to come in, drop in, help, and then leave when you have to. It's no real commitment required there. If you want to help backstage during our performance, there's a little bit more commitment there, right? You're expected to commit to certain rehearsals, and then obviously be at the performances themselves. And so that could be include being backstage, moving scenery, up in the catwalk, running a follow spot, any of those kinds of things. That's typically paired along with the audition announcements, and students would have the opportunity to fill out a Google form to submit their interest essentially and say what their sort of preferences are, right? And then of course there's always the opportunity to come and just check out a show as a member of the audience too, whether you're a student or an adult member of the community. Or just a friend of somebody in the community, right? And that's typically available to make reservations or purchase tickets online. And those announcements would be made through, again, our typical news outlets of 378 Main and that kind of thing. For the instance of Charlie Brown Christmas coming up, we'll be putting out a Google form where people can pre-register in order to come see the show.
What role are you going to be performing in the upcoming play, and what went into practicing for that?
Well, I will be playing Charlie Brown in a Charlie Brown Christmas the musical, and we usually rehearse like 2 to 3 times a week as a whole group. In the beginning, it was some people in and out, but because I'm Charlie Brown, I have to be there all the time pretty much. Then at home, like obviously practice lines, practice like 30 minutes a day, and still sometimes can't get it down because you gotta have, you can't just paraphrase, you have to get exactly right because everyone's depending on you getting it exactly right.
Can you describe to us some highlights of the theater community?
Well, being here at St. John's for almost 30 years now, working with theater and with music, I would say that really one of the biggest highlights of this whole experience, whenever we do it, is how we get bonds between all the students and the teachers who are involved in terms of working on the production. You have, just like on a sports team, you have all the hours of working together, thinking about a goal, working on that goal, getting to know each other, relying on each other. So there really is always a strong bond built between both all the students that are involved, and particularly in the case of theater, the young women who come from other schools and work with us as well. So it's really great in that level.
How is production of upcoming projects coming along?
Production's moving along pretty well. Thank heavens for Mr. Colby and all of his work steering the helm of this. I'm working here as an assistant and as the music director. This is not a musical in the traditional sense of some of the bigger musicals, so there's a little less work for me and more work for Mr. Colby as the director. But it is moving well. But unfortunately, mindful of the fact that we have all of next week off, there's that tension of worrying what we can get done before we go away, and then we have to come back for a week and dive right into it again. So hopefully everything will work well.
What role are you going to be performing, and what play will you be performing in?
So the play is A Charlie Brown Christmas, and I will be playing Schroeder.
What went into preparation for the play?
Well, we've been preparing ever since pretty much early November, maybe even late October. At least 3 days a week, we've come after school, 3 to 5, going over lines, pretty much whole scenes. A lot of the rehearsals have been full cast, so we would pretty much just run through the play like 2 or 3 times a day, and just make sure we're collectively working together, because the play, while we do have lines that we have to record and rehearse on our own, the play is majorly team operated. I mean, we a lot of the time we're doing stuff at the same time, so.